Welcome back everyone, John Panio here with another video. So with the release of Dimension Shredder's Ego with Honglu and Lee Sang, we're going to check them out. We have them all at Uptide Tier 3, and at max, at least for this version with Honglu, it says before attack you gain 5 charge count and gain 2 haste next turn. And it says inflict 1 fragile and 4-dimensional rift, and these will turn into rupture count, which is pretty nice, so you want to be putting him in a rupture term. Then you have Entangled Phenomenal Restoration. When hitting an enemy with negative status effects, this unit gains +1 charge count, max +4 per turn, and when the character's HP falls to 0 for the first time during the battle, it spends all the charge count heals in proportion to the amount spent. Cannot heal over 25% max HP. I don't know how much it's going to heal, but it's going to heal us for a good amount, I would imagine, but we'll have to wait and see. And then we also have our boy Yi Sang. We have his Ego here, Dimension Shredder, also up to Tier 3. Before attack, it spends charge count to deal more damage, max 75% on hit. If charge count was spent, inflict 3-dimensional rift. And Dimensional Rift just basically turns all of the counts into rupture count. And then on hit, deal bonus pride damage by target's rupture by times 10% of the damage dealt, and reduce rupture count by 5, max 100%. His passive is at the start of the turn. If this unit took no damage last turn, gain +4 charge count. After successfully hitting an enemy with lower speed, inflict 1 rupture count 3 times per turn. So it looks like there was a translation. It doesn't look like it takes away rupture count. With this one though, it's indiscriminate, targets a random unit. Before attack, spend charge count to deal 75% more damage. If charge count was spent, inflict 3 rupture count, and inflict 6 rupture, and this just does more damage. Okay. And Ego Corroded version of Honglu, I think it's also the same, just to make sure. It does targets a unit with the most HP, gain 3 haste, spend 10 charge count to inflict +2 fragile and dimensional rift with this skill, and inflict 1 fragile and 4-dimensional rift. So basically it looks like this goes to 3 fragile and 6-dimensional rift. So we're gonna try these bad boys out, and we're gonna be running a rupture team. We'll be using Honglu, Gregor, Ishmael, Faust, and Yi Sang, because we want to be able to generate the stuff that we need for their ego. So that's why we're running the team like this. So hopefully we'll be able to see just how much damage their egos are gonna do, and see just if they're useful or not. So we're gonna try it on these bad boys. We need to get enough greens, yellows, and greens, yellows, and blues, and then we'll be able to showcase their egos. So at the moment, I would probably say that both egos are kind of strong but kind of niche. You can tell that they want to play in a rupture team comp, but there just isn't a lot that shows us that we can do rupture, because right now the only few characters that are good with rupture is Gregor 3-star, there's Otis base star, then you have Faust lobotomy 2-star, and I think that's basically the bulk of all the rupture damage. Oh, and I guess Heathcliff too, because we have Heathcliff 3. Heathcliff 3 has rupture as well, so that's pretty nice, but just looking at it overall, we are kind of lacking in that department. What we're going to do is we're going to build up all the resources in this stage to be able to just use both egos in the next stage ideally, so that way we can showcase Honglu as well as Yi Sang's ego and just kind of compare the damage side by side and just really see who's is stronger, I would say. Ideally we land coin flip on both of them, so that way we can work with it. So it looks like we have Yi Sang's ego first. This one we're missing a green, so we'll hold off on it for now. We won't use it quite yet, so we'll just run straight through over and get that 1 green, and then we can showcase the damage side by side. But technically speaking, with Gregor though, he's supposed to do more damage if the enemy has rupture. So ideally, technically, what should happen is you make it so that your team applies a ton of rupture to an enemy, so Gregor's skill 3 can do 50% more damage with his eviscerate, but sometimes that doesn't usually happen. But it's hard to say depending on what the situation is. Now, as right now, Yi Sang and Honglu actually don't have any IDs that apply Rupture. None of their kit applies Rupture, and none of their kit really uses Charge. They can get it and use it for their ego, but their base kit itself doesn't use Rupture and doesn't use Charge, which kind of defeats the purpose of the ego, because there isn't really any characters that can utilize those ego effectively, because you can tell that the Dimension Shredder wants to play with Rupture and also Fragility, and Fragility is always just going to be useful no matter what. Now, with these guys acting first, we're going to use their egos and straight run it through, and let's see what happens. Enemy is staggered, so he's gonna hit a staggered unit probably, but that's okay. Oh no, not staggered unit. All right, so we're clashing. Really strong coin. 20. We missed though. We missed the coin flip. How much damage do we do? And 27 endure. Not that good, but that's because it's slash damage. A little bit awkward. But maybe... well, now Yiseng's gonna hit him with 38 on a staggered unit. So this should be more damage. 72, 120. That's okay, but that's on a staggered unit, so... hard to tell if that was a good demonstration of it. But I will say 120 is not bad, I think, because aren't a lot of skills that can do that much damage. But then again, the enemy was staggered, and he did hit his coin flip. 38 or 38 on the coin toss is actually pretty freaking damn high, which is actually pretty solid. Ideally, let's see if we can try to do his ego one more time. So we need one more green. What I'm going to do is do the green, yellow, and that's how we're going to kill everyone. So we'll do this, and then we'll have the rest of the boys guard. And see what happens. That's gonna die, yeah. That one's gonna die. That one's gonna die. And now we can check out Hong Lu's skill again. And just have these guys guard. And see what happens. Because now this time... let's see. Oh, he's got slash... these guys got all slash fragility, which is a little bit annoying. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to do this. Why is it doing this? Back and forth. Hold up. I want to be able to make it so that he uses his skill on someone who's staggered. 2, 3. This should work. This should work, because what will happen is he's gonna attack that, and that should stagger. Okay, 26. Okay, so now the enemy is staggered. Now it would be a good one-to-one comparison. Ideally, if our boy lands his head flip, missed the head flip, a little bit awkward. So before he did like what, 27 damage. Now when a staggered enemy not landing head flip, it does 50. So it's a little bit better in terms of damage, but honestly, Yiseng's ego seems like it does a bit more damage, but it's probably because his coin flip is so freaking damn high, and that's probably why. So honestly, overall, I would say the egos feel okay, but they feel a little bit kind of out of place. The Dimension Shredder in terms of damage doesn't feel too strong. It does give haste and charge, but at the moment, nothing much you can really do. I would say it's probably weaker compared to Yiseng's because it's got a phenomenal passive, because it can give you a free revive. Whereas with Yiseng, his ego, it actually does, like, honestly, a bit more damage, because you can inflict more damage with having charge on your team or on him. So I would say overall, both egos are good. I would say Honglu's is a little bit more of a defensive ego for utility for revive in case you get bursted. And Yisang's a little bit more offensive because he's got the Rambling Man, which you can apply rupture count to enemies when you're hitting them with a lower speed. And not only that though, it does like a lot more damage. So personally speaking, I think Yisang's a better ego to use, but Yisang does not have any good identities to use. So it really depends. I would say both are decent egos. Honglu has an ego that he can use that can maybe revive, which is pretty nice, but then Yisang has a pretty strong ego where he can help a lot of rupture teams. So overall, we're just gonna have to wait and see what type of IDs they release. Hopefully they also release the Dimension Shredder IDs, so that way we can get some rupture and fragility and Dimension Rift characters to be able to really bolster up rupture. Right now we have kind of a burn team, sort of a bleed team, but not really a rupture team amongst anything. So looking forward to the new content coming out, so really excited as usual. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know down in the comment section down below. And currently right now I am streaming on Twitch every day for 3 hours, depending whether I do it before work or after work. And currently right now we're playing Legend of Zelda not Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. Anyways, John Pam, signing out. See you guys later. Bye for now.
Thank you.